Sean Diddy Combs seeks pardon from Donald Trump. Sean Diddy Combs has been in contact with Donald Trump about a pardon, a source close to the rapper's legal team. A White House spokesperson said it will not comment on the existence or non-existence of any clemency request. On Tuesday, the rapper was denied bail ahead of his sentencing in October, when he could face up to 20 years in prison after he was convicted of prostitution-related offenses. The sentence will likely be much shorter than that, however. In July, he was found guilty of 2 counts of transportation for prostitution, but cleared of more serious charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, which carried potential life sentences. During an interview with news channel Newsmax last Friday, Mr. Trump said they have talked to me about Sean but did not announce any decision. The president seemed to cast doubt that he would grant a pardon, however. "You know, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great. And seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well," Trump said. "But when I ran for office, he was very hostile. I don't know. It makes it more, I'm being honest, it makes it more difficult to do." Trump was then asked, more likely a no for Combs? Trump responded, "I would say so." Combs, who co-founded Bad Boy Records and launched the career of the late Notorious Big, was for decades a huge figure in pop culture, as well as a Grammy-winning hip-hop artist and business entrepreneur, who presided over an empire ranging from fashion to reality TV. Now, as well as the criminal conviction, he is also facing several civil lawsuits. It proves world's longest suspension bridge. Italy's government has approved the construction of what is tipped to become the world's longest suspension bridge. The long-delayed bridge would connect mainland Italy to the island of Sicily, which is currently only reachable via ferry. It is believed the £11.7 billion project, which became a priority for Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's right-wing government, will help develop the impoverished south of Italy. The Interministerial Committee for Economic Planning and Sustainable Development, CIPES, gave the final approval to the project at a meeting in Rome, the League Party of Deputy Prime Minister and Transport Minister Matteo Salvini said. It will have a total length of 3.67 km and a suspended span of 3.3 km and have 2 towers, each made entirely of highly resistant steel, standing 399 meters tall. That's despite concerns over the environmental impacts and the threat of mafia interference. There have also been concerns over such a bridge being built in an earthquake zone. The designers say the bridge's roadway platform, which will sit 72 m above the sea, can stand wind speeds of 292 km per hour. The project has been awarded to a consortium led by WeBuild, an Italian infrastructure group, which initially won the bid to build the bridge in 2006 before the project was cancelled in 2013. According to the Messina Strait company overseeing the project, approval will allow the start of preliminary works, including archaeological and geological surveys. The company said the bridge will be completed in 2032. Preliminary work could begin later this summer with construction expected to start next year. Staff face death threats for feeding baboon remains to lions. Staff at a zoo in Germany which culled 12 baboons and fed some of their carcasses to the lions say they have received death threats. Tiergarten Nuremberg euthanized the healthy guinea baboons at the end of July due to overcrowding in their enclosure. Some remains were used for research while the rest were fed to the zoo's carnivores. Plans to kill the baboons were first announced last year after the population exceeded 40, and protesters gathered outside the zoo to show their outrage. When the site closed last Tuesday to carry out the cull, several activists were arrested after climbing the fence. The director of the zoo defended the decision, saying efforts to sterilize and rehome some baboons had failed. "We love these animals. We want to save a species. But for the sake of the species, we have to kill individuals, otherwise we are not able to keep up a population in a restricted area," told Dr. Dag Enke. He said police are investigating after he and the staff were sent death threats. "The staff are really suffering, sorting out all these bad words, insults and threats. The normal threat is we will kill you, and we'll feed you to the lions, Dr. Enke said. Culling animals and feeding them to predators isn't unheard of in zoos. In 2014, Copenhagen Zoo caused controversy by euthanizing an 18-month-old male giraffe called Marius and feeding his body to the lions. At the time, the zoo said it was due to a duty to avoid inbreeding. Dr. Mark Jones, a vet and head of policy at Born Free Foundation, a charity which campaigns for animals to be kept in the wild, denounced the practice and said thousands of healthy animals are being destroyed by zoos each year. It reflects the fact animals in zoos are often treated as commodities that are disposable or replaceable, he said. Earlier this week, a zoo in Denmark faced a backlash for asking for unwanted pets to be donated to be used as food for its predators. In a Facebook post, Aalborg Zoo said it could take smaller live animals such as chickens, rabbits, and guinea pigs, as well as horses under 147 centimeters. It said the animals would be euthanized by specially trained staff before being fed to carnivores like the European lynx. While some people supported the scheme, saying they had donated animals in the past, others are outraged. The very idea of a zoo offering to take unwanted pets in order to kill them and feed them to their predators will, I think, horrify most right-minded people, said Dr. Jones. Ketamine queen given trial date after Friends star's death. A woman charged with selling Friends actor Matthew Perry the dose of ketamine that killed him will go on trial next month. The trial of Jasveen Sungha, allegedly known as the Ketamine Queen, will begin on September 23 after an order from a Los Angeles judge on Tuesday. She is the only defendant standing trial over Perry's death after 4 others reached plea agreements with prosecutors. The 42-year-old, who has pleaded not guilty, is charged with 5 counts of ketamine distribution, including 1 count of distribution resulting in death. Sungha's trial has been postponed 4 times after her lawyers said they needed longer to go through the prosecution's evidence and to finish their own investigation. Perry died in his home in October 2023, aged 54, after getting ketamine from his regular doctor for treatment of depression, which is an increasingly common use for the surgical anesthetic. The actor was taking ketamine 6 to 8 times a day before he died, according to court documents. Prosecutors say Perry illegally sought more ketamine from his doctor, Salvador Plasencia, after he wouldn't give him as much as he wanted. They allege he then sought more from Sungha, who allegedly presented herself as a celebrity drug dealer with high-quality goods. Perry's assistant and friend admitted to buying large amounts of ketamine for him from Sungha, including 25 vials for $6,000 in cash, a few days before his death. Prosecutors allege that purchase included the doses that killed Perry. Pensioner who stalked TV actress for almost 3 years to be sentenced next month. A man who stalked actress Anna Friel for nearly 3 years is to be sentenced next month. Phil Appleton, 71-year-old, sent numerous messages, visited the actress's home address several times and left unwanted gifts between January 2022 and December last year, Reading Crown Court previously heard. The defendant, described online as an actor and retired pilot, admitted stalking under Section 2A of the Protection from Harassment Act 1997 earlier this week. Appleton was due to be sentenced on Thursday, but Judge Alan Blake adjourned the hearing until September 18 for a pre-sentence report to be carried out. The court heard the pensioner, from Windsor in Berkshire, has been in custody for 6 months and has spent time in a mental health facility. Granted conditional bail, he was told he must not contact Ms. Friel or enter the Royal Borough of Windsor and Maidenhead and is to cooperate with those conducting the pre-sentence report. Friel, 49-year-old, rose to fame with her role as Beth Jordache in Channel 4 soap opera Brookside. She achieved international renown in 2007, starring as Charlotte Chuck Charles in the ABC comedy series Pushing Daisies. In 2017, she won the International Emmy for Best Actress for her role as the title character in the ITV and Netflix mystery drama series Marcella. Thousands fall ill with mosquito-borne chikungunya virus in China. Thousands of people have fallen ill in China with symptoms of a mosquito-borne virus. More than 7,000 cases have been reported to the authorities of the chikungunya virus, which can cause fever and joint pain. Patients are being kept in hospital for a minimum of 1 week. The outbreak has been mostly across the city of Foshan, in the southern province of Guangdong, with the authorities tackling the rise in cases with methods last widely seen in China during COVID. Workers have been seen spraying clouds of disinfectant around streets, residential areas, and office buildings where people may come into contact with the mosquitoes which are born in standing water. Drones are also being deployed to search for insect breeding grounds. People have been urged to use mosquito nets for beds and to apply insect repellent on exposed skin. Young and older age groups, alongside those with pre-existing medical conditions, are said to be most at risk. However, the number of new cases appears to be dropping slowly, according to authorities. People have been told to avoid leaving any standing water, including in flower pots and water bottles, while those who fail to follow the measures could be fined and have their electricity cut off. Heavy rains and high temperatures in China have worsened the outbreak, which is generally common in tropical areas but came on unusually strong this year. Death from chikungunya is rare, but joint pain can be severe and disabling and might persist for months.